Welcome once again to Octane Mobile Gaming with yours truly, Octane. We start this week first and foremost with the news link. So the news link has got some really good information in it this week. Killer skill update, legendary relic, which is my favorite. So all legendary relic, which is the generation 1 legendary relic, so that's the Dojan Axe, Ketabo, so on and so forth, has got a buff. So all of the original legend relics have had their stats scaling scale buffed. Due to this, their power has also increased, which makes the legendary relics more valuable now than they were before. Before they were quite good because I used to use them a lot, especially to get more power and more health on my deck, but now they're even more better. So start enchant your relics, start getting the material to enchant your relics, and use them on your decks. They're quite good. So leaderboard changes, historical, ultimate forge. So with your historical cards like your Dr. Nunat and so on and so forth, you can get souls for those cards now. Unfortunately, you don't just get the souls. I think you have to contact the support team to actually get the souls for those cards. I've got quite a few in my collection, so I will be contacting them and getting the souls for all those cards. Next event would be a Earth Affinity Slayer event, so prepare yourself for that. So let's jump right into the deck and have a look at this week deck. So this week deck has got a mechanics that we've seen several times before. I call it the Grail mechanic. It's probably called something else, but it's initially the first deck that came out was called the Grail deck, and all subsequent decks that had the same mechanics after that was called the Grail mechanic. So this is no different. The difference between this card and this deck and the Grail deck is that it's been buffed a bit. So while the Grail deck created 15 power gem freeze, this one can create 20 power gem 4s, which makes it vastly more powerful than its original counterpart. The MVP for this particular deck, and all Grail deck, is always the Ultra Rare. The Ultra Rare can get you up to your maximum stack quite quickly because the Ultra Rare actually gives 4 stacks while your support card only gives 2. But this type of deck is always great for free-to-play players. So free-to-play players can always get free support card and you can create lots of power gems. So let's start with the MVP for the deck. The MVP is called Gravity Defying Karina, and she will create 4 power gem freeze and add 4 stack of showtime for 4 turns and refresh its duration. So for those of you who have never played the Grail deck before or played this type of mechanic before, what this card does, it creates something called showtime. Showtime is different from your skill points and it's different from intensity. It's in the same family, but it's a bit different. Its maximum amount is 20. So when it gets up to 20, you stop activating the battle skill for your Ultra Rare and your support card, and the timer goes down. So the timer goes up to 4. That's the duration. It lasts for 4 turns. So after 4 turns, it expires, and what it does passively, it creates 20 power gem 4s if you've got up to 20 stacks. And that's basically the mechanics. Now, Showtime heals for 20% of team recovery per stack each turn while active. So for the 4 turn while Showtime is active, it will heal you for 20% of the team recovery per stack. So when you get up to 20 stack, which is your maximum stack, it will basically heal you for 20% of the team recovery per stack. So each stack will heal you for 20%. So that's 20 times 20. And that is a big, that's I think that's 400% of the team recovery it will be healing you for. So you see, as your stat goes up, the healing goes up, which makes it quite a good deck for a free-to-play player. The only pitfall with this deck, it's quite slow if you haven't got a lot of support cards or ultra rare on your deck. So if you've got 2 ultra rare, you'll be creating 8 stack each every other turn, which gives you approximately 6 turns to get up to your maximum. So that is what makes the ultra rare MVP. So 2 ultra rare gets you to your maximum stacks within 6 turns. However, your support card, if you've got 3 support cards on your deck, you'll be producing 6 stack every other turn. So it will take you approximately 8 turns. Yeah, I think it's 8 turns to get you up to your maximum stack. So the more support cards you've got on your deck as a free-to-play player, it's the quicker you get up to your maximum stack, which makes the support card from a free-to-play perspective very valuable. And 3 is I would say that's the sweet spot. 4 would be better. So if you are a free-to-play player and you haven't got any deck, you haven't got a good deck, and you get 4 or 5 support card, that's brilliant. If you got 1 is not good enough. 2 is the minimum, I would say, but 3 is the sweet spot, and then probably 2 other cards that can push out a bit more damage than your support card. So your support card and your ultra rare has got a 2-turn cooldown, and your killer skill for this week is a beast killer. So we are now going from the beginning. When I say beginning, the first dark affinity card with a killer skill. So killer skill came out when 3.0 started. Well, the generation 3 cards started to come out before 3.0 was launched, and the first generation 3 card was the first deck was Dr. Nunat, but 3.0 wasn't out as yet. So that's where we get Guardian of Island. Dr. Nunat and Vistas of Island created, I would say, the first Ultimate Form, because they were the first deck that had the new leadership skill. So let's get into the next card, which is your Master Collection card. So she's called Sheena, Dealer of Fortune. And your Master Collection card will create 6 Dark Power Gem 4s and increase Dark Commander attack by up to 40%. It starts at 10% for the first turn. Initially, it starts at 10% and 10% additional for every 100 Dark Commander skill point. If there are 5 or more stacks of Showtime, so the stacks are called Showtime, active, it will create an additional 6 Power Gem 4 and increase your attack for the next turn as well. So on the next turn, so the initial turn where you activate your battle skill, you will only create 6 Dark Power Gem 4s. And then the turn after, you will create, if you've got 5 or more stacks of Showtime, it will create an additional 6 Power Gem 4s, as well as increasing your Dark Commander attack. The charge rate on this one is 9, but the cooldown is a bit long. It's a 6-turn cooldown, making this deck very, very slow. The deck is also a Trickster. Can't remember. I think we've got Trickster decks. I'll have to look. I can't remember off the top of my head. But let's have a look at our Ultimate Form. So the graphics for the Ultimate Form wasn't there when the event, when the deck was released this morning. They have fixed it, and now we can see the Ultimate Form You can see it there. The avatar wasn't there before, now it's there. So the ultimate form is Mistresses of Mayhem, and they will do basically the same thing like your Master Collection card, but just a bit more powerful. So they will create 8 Dark Power Gem 4s, whereas the Master Collection card created 6, and increase Dark Commander attack by up to 50%. So initially you will get 50%, then an additional 12.5%. No, initially you will get 12.5%. And then as your skill point goes up, every 100 skill Dark Commander skill point will give you an additional 12.5%. If there are 5 or more stacks of Showtime active, you will create 8 Dark Power Gem 4s and increase Dark Commander attack on the next turn. This has also got a 6-turn cooldown. So that is your ultimate form. And I must say, I'm really enjoying the artwork on the decks for the last 6-7 months. You've had some great artwork before then. I don't like them, I didn't love them, but these ones I actually love. They're very colorful, they're very beautiful. I'm loving the artwork. 3.0 artwork is very beautiful. So the 3 cards that you need for this week is Kennen, Mutant Marunda, Godflesh, and Kaliba. All 3 of these can be obtained from the Dust Shop. Kaliba is from the 100 Dust Shop, and you can get Kennen, Mutant Marunda, and Godflesh from the 20 Dust Store. Mutant Marunda is a gem spawner, so is Godflesh, while Kaliba is a gem destroyer, one of my first gem destroyer, and I love my gem destroyer. Let's have a look at the support card. Sakrina, Astonishing, will create 4 Dark Power Gems and add 2 stacks of Showtime for 4 turns and refresh its duration. So it's a downgraded version from the Ultra Rare. But the thing about this card is, even though it doesn't create your Power Gem free like your Ultra Rare, when it can get your stack up to 20, and when it expires, it will create 20 Power Gem 4s, making this card a brilliant card for a free-to-play player. As a new player, if you're a new player just starting this game, having 3 copies of this card is a really good way to go. When I started this game, we didn't have cards like these. We didn't have support cards that could create 20 Power Gem 4s. Nah, it's since Generation 3 cards came out, we can get support cards like these that can create 20 Power Gem 4s. Because as I say, the new meta for the game is Power Gems. No longer is it gems. Before, when I started out, it was, if you've got a full board of gems, you could do massive damage and it could finish top of the Kings League, top of the Paladin leagues and leagues like that. Now it's Power Gem. Power Gems are the new meta going forward. So having a support card that can create 20 Power Gem 4s, not Power Gem 1s, not Power Gem 2s, not even Power Gem 3s like its predecessors, but Power Gem 4s, 20 Power Gem 4s. It doesn't matter how many of these cards you've got on the board, you will only create 20 Power Gem 4s when Showtime expires. But having more of these cards will get you up to your maximum stock quite quickly. So if you've got 1 copy of this, trust me, your game is going to be very, very boring. It's going to take long, drawn out, and you're just going to get fed up of the deck. But if you've got 3 copies of a support card, it gets you up to your maximum stock quite quickly, especially if you've got an Ultra Rare in the mix. Get you up to your 20 stocks quite quickly. So, I did manage to get a copy of the support card. Let's have a look. So that's what I got on my draw, as you could see. So I did manage to get 2 copies of Magnus Iron Willed. I got the support card, so that's your main card or event card, as I like to call it. Magnus the Iron Willed is your main card. That's your support card, and I did manage to get a copy of the Master Collection card. Unfortunately, I didn't get a copy of the Ultra Rare, which is the one that I would have wanted. But I'm still thankful that I got the Master Collection card, making it much easier to create the Ultimate Form. I've been considering whether I should go up to tier 4 of the pack and see if I manage to get the Ultra Rare. However, this is not a deck that I really want to chase after, so I think I won't spend the gems. I'm gonna start saving my gems, because one of the things that I really want to do is save my gems where I have enough gems that if there's a deck that comes out in the future that I really want to get, I can actually go up to probably tier 6 or tier 7 of the pack. So that's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start saving my gems, so I won't be buying the 1,000 gem packs when they come out, because I normally chase after cards. Last week I was chasing after a second copy of the Ultra Rare, didn't manage to get it, so I think I'm gonna start doing what I used to do before, saving my gems. I've been saving my dust, but I haven't been saving my gems as much as I used to, so I'm gonna start saving those. So let's have a look at the main card. So your main card, as I said, is Magnus the Iron Willed, and he is just a downgraded version of your Master Collection card. So he will create 4 Dark Power Gem 1s. If there are 5 or more stacks of Showtime active, he will create 4 Power Gem 2s next turn as well. I can't see why initially you'll create Power Gem 1s and then on the following turn you'll create Power Gem 2s. He should create Power Gem 2s on both turns, shouldn't he? Well, he should, but it is what it is, so we'll just work with it. Toxin, so I think one of the bosses will be running Toxin, and Toxin affect cards that heals. So the only cards that really heal on this deck would be the support card. So part of the battle skill is Showtime heals for 20%. So I'm not really sure if it's the actual battle skill that heals or it's the passive, which is called Showtime. But this is a card that actually creates the stock of Showtime. So I think this card will be affected by Toxin. I'll wait and see how it actually works, because Showtime is a part of the battle skill. So I'm assuming it will affect it, but we'll see when the event starts. This one count dispels armor. Armor is not too bad. Toxin is a bit more terrible for your deck if you've got heal in your deck. Master Collection card with dispel Toxin as well. So this is Kane and Mutant Maroon. I did get a copy of it. As I said, you can get it from a 20 dust shop. It's a whole card. It's a gem spawner. It's not really valuable, so I'll be dusting that. This one is a healer. It's got a 7-turn cooldown, but it does heal your deck right up. So fully heal yourself and increase the number of turn until the target attacks again. So that is a healer, and this card is a turn delay card. It's quite a good card. I've already got 1 copy. I don't need a second copy. So I've got 2 copies of the main card. So let's have a look at my decks for this week. So that's the only Dark Commander deck that I've really got with a Ultimate Form on it. It's not really good. I really regretted actually getting that deck. Really and truly regretting get that deck. So this is the main deck that I will be running when the event starts. I'm waiting to get my second copy of the support card. to add to this deck. So I will be running 2 support card, 2 main card, and the Master Collection card. Only the Master Collection card I've got the killer skill, so this deck will not benefit from the killer skill buff. However, the last Slayer deck that we got, the last Dark Slayer deck, has got the killer skill on it. So the killer skill, as I said, is Beast. So this one has got Beast, even though it's a Slayer deck. So this is one way that you could, this is one deck that you could put together if you've got the card. So if you've got the Dragon deck, what you could do is put Almar as your leader card. It doesn't matter what evolution of Almar you've got. It could be 3-star, 4, doesn't matter. It will buff all your cards on the deck, and it will basically bring the deck together as if it's one deck. So Almar, for new players, Almar will give buff to both Slayers and Commander cards at the same time, making it very diverse. I've got Almar Ascended, which makes it a bit more powerful because every 4 turn it creates 4 Power Gem 1s. These are 2 Master Collection card. Aswang is, as I said, one of the first generation 3 cards that we got. It's not a really good card because it can create up to 10 Power Gem 4s, but its battle skill is only available after the first 6 turns, so it begins on cooldown, making it one of the worst Master Collection card ever. But it's got it's got the beast skill on it. So is Sheena, which is the current Master Collection card. So both of those cards are beast skiller, and Draconic Scoundrel has got beast killer. It will not pass its kill skill onto Sheena and Aswang. Will not do that, but it will pass its kill skill onto Almar, which the whole deck basically will be buff, because these 2 cards will buff themselves with their kill skill, and then Draconic Scoundrel will pass its kill skill onto both its Ultra Rare and Almar. So the whole deck will have the kill skill, basically. So that's what I'm thinking of running, and this is my Almar Scythe. And as I said, it's been buffed, so you can see the numbers have gone up from the last time, which is really, really good. So tomorrow we'll do our possible deck combinations, and then we'll look at some more decks that we could run. I've got a few ideas in my head, but at the moment there's no way of testing them and see if they actually work. So last event I did manage to finish first in the solo leaderboard. So I wasn't in Legend League. I was actually in Emperor League, and I did manage to finish first. So I'm back in Legend League, and I did manage to break into the top 100 players. I finished 98, which is really, really good. One of my aspirations is to actually finish in the top 3 before the game burns itself out. So I'll be working towards that. Don't know I'm gonna get there, but I will get there. Won't be spending any money as well. I want to get there as a free-to-play player, and that's my desire. So that's it for the deck. Is it a deck that you should chase after? I would say no. The Grail Mechanics is powerful, but it's a really slow deck. I don't think it's a deck worthwhile spending any money or spending a lot of gems on. That's my personal point of view. I think you should save your gems, and if you've got the dust and you really and truly want a Dark Commander deck, you could go for this one. But as I said, it's a really slow deck. If I had the dust, I wouldn't go for it anyway. But that's just me. as I said, MVP is the ultra rare. It will be really, really great if you could get the ultra rare from the vault. But 3 support cards. The must-have cards is support cards. 3 copies of the support cards would be really, really good. So the must-have card for this week is support card. The more support cards you have, the better for you. So that's it. See you tomorrow when we do possible deck combos. So as usual, hit that like button. Go on and hit that like button. For those of you who watch the videos but don't subscribe, just hit the subscribe button. It does help the channel. It does help me. Your comments as well does help with the content, because the content creation and information just comes from me. But if you give me your comment, constructive criticism, please. Don't want any trolls. Constructive criticism or constructive comments, and if you have a request, just leave it in the comment section as well, so I can create contents that you want to see. So like, subscribe, and as always, this is Alec Dane saying peace and enjoy the rest of your day.